Hey, I'm Butterfly.
Hey, I'm Firefly.
Have you ever wondered if we aren't being told the truth about everything?
What have we been lied to about? Join us as we have conversations and ask questions about everything. We invite you to keep an open mind and consider the unfathomable.
Let's break the chains that enslave our minds. Come on, let's go down the rabbit hole.
What's up, Butterfly? And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Firefly,
How are you?
and Merry Christmas to our listener.
Merry Christmas.
Well, I just thought it was appropriate for us to have a special Christmas episode,
Yes.
and we're kind of addressing our uh two or three listeners.
Whoever's out there listening, I think we have more than the Indian dudes tell us. And Merry Christmas to the Indian dudes.
Yeah, they're
Firefly, we do not celebrate Christmas.
but I think they secretly like us. I think they're like our secret friends,
They are.
you know.
I'm sure.
And they say we only have 107 listeners now, but they're in like 40 different countries. So
We have like
that's
all these
pretty cool.
different.
We have like two listeners in each country.
I know. And Merry Christmas to them and
Yeah.
whatever your tradition is
And
there.
Joyeux Noel and Feliz Navidad and
See?
whatever. I don't speak too many other languages, but I wanted to have a Christmas episode and talk about a few things. We might go down a little tiny bit of a rabbit hole, but we want to keep this one light.
We're trying to keep it light. We're trying to get back in. I think the idea of this episode was kind of like Dickens' Christmas Carol, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we are so grateful that we can do this and that people are listening. And we're hoping that we're starting conversations because that's what we're doing. We're just having conversations and talking about things and asking questions. And we're hoping that what we're doing is inspiring more conversations with other people to have with their friends and people that they know. And um, I think, that's the main point of why we do this. And we're very grateful to be able to do this. Which kind of brings me, let's kind of go down the rabbit holes first, and then we'll talk about some of the Christmas things that I wanted to talk about because
Yeah.
I mean, I do want to keep it light because I think a lot of people like us who have these thoughts and questions about things, it can feel very lonely at times. You know what I mean?
Well, that is why we have to stay white pill.
Yeah.
White pill is trying to have a hopeful, happy attitude,
Outlook.
you know?
Hmm.
And I was thinking about Mick Jagger. There's this song that I was listening to by him the other day by the Rolling Stones, and it's that one that goes, "You never make a saint of me." You ever heard that one?
No,
It's so good.
really.
It's later. It's like 94 or something, but it's kind of one of their gems that just kind of went under the radar. Anyways, I was thinking about him and like how you notice how Mick Jagger, he always is like on. He's always got energy. It's kind of like Robin Williams. Remember him?
Yeah.
And they just always are able to just go on and just have energy. And you kind of have to do like that because if you allow yourself these days, you can get Eeyored out here in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. And so we're hoping to bring a little bit of joy to our listeners in all our episodes, actually, but especially in this one,
Well, that's part of
you
being
know?
red velvet cake.
Yeah.
Like we always say, what is like the white pill is red velvet cake. Red velvet cake is you gotta be red pilled, you gotta be looking at the truth, but you have to still have a positive, hopeful attitude.
And we do because we think that these kinds of conversations are what it's going to take to make changes in the world. And
And
we're
that's gonna be our next episode.
That's it's gonna say that's gonna be our next episode. Our New Year's Eve episode is going to be about positive changes. So watch for that one. But let's go down a little bit of a rabbit hole now because a lot of people when they think about Christmas now, they think about like there's just excess and everybody's all about like just out there in a frenzy, shopping and buying and spending money. And we kind of talked about that on our
African American Friday.
African American Friday
Yeah,
episode, which otherwise is known as Black Friday. But the heart of the matter with that is what it all revolves around is capitalism,
true.
right?
Well,
And
because like in a communist slave country, like they don't really care about Christmas. They're just like you're a slave, and it doesn't matter how you feel.
yeah, and they're one of the things that they're trying to really push and teach like the younger generation now, along with earth modification and how terrible Cly um dot dot Ainge
You're
is.
killing Gaia.
Uh,
You are a virus.
the other thing that they like to teach is capitalism is bad.
Capitalism's so
It's so
oppressive.
bad.
Yes.
But isn't that kind of one of the main things that this country was built on, was
Mm,
that
totally.
people can have the American dream, which is to, maybe start a business and be successful,
The
and
pursuit of
the
happiness,
pursuit of happiness, earn a living.
self-determination.
Yeah, and all of that is, around capitalism, because you have to be able to make money. And what's so ironic is, while they're teaching that capitalism is bad, they're the ones that are prospering from it. Like the Culture Club says no, but they profit from capitalism,
Like,
like
what's that dude's name? Mark Zuckerberg. Like, so Mark Zuckerberg, his wet dream, because I heard like he's obsessed with like Roman, like being a Caesar. He wants to be like a Caesar.
oh my
He
gosh.
styles himself like I
Ugh.
kind of am like Julius Caesar.
Oh geez.
So his wet dream is to make a bunch of money and become a billionaire in capitalism, but then have capitalism be shut down and
For
have like a
everybody else.
feudal system.
Yeah, exactly. A feudal system. Yeah.
And feudalism is not like no Christmas for you.
No, and it seems like all of that, like they're so these people are learning that capitalism is bad, but where are they mostly learning this stuff? On videos that they're watching on their iPhones. Now, where did the iPhone come from? Um, Capitalism, right? That
Capitalism
company
drives innovation.
that company makes so much money,
Yeah.
and that's all capitalism. So,
Well, I like to think that's capitalism, but if you think about like the tech revolution, it's kind of taken place in this weird thing that we've become.
yeah,
We were capitalists, but now we're kind of like different. But you bring up a good point. Capitalism is the predicate of Christmas because communist hellhole, there's no Christmas for you. You live in a, like that one girl, she's like, I went to Pakistan and look, and it's like ramshackle and poverty
but
and
it's
blight.
so beautiful.
So beautiful. I'm not ethnocentric, but see, if you live there, it's like, those people don't really probably decorate their ramshackle huts for Christmas.
Probably not.
They don't really care.
Yeah, they don't have Christmas lights.
No. But like, it even goes back further than America because I think the Christmas story goes back to like even prior to America. I've heard traditions that go like Saint Nicholas was like coming out of Europe
But yeah,
in the 1600s. And what is it predicated on? Like, I always think of Tiny Tim. What's his little speech
yeah,
that he makes at dinner?
Tiny Tim.
He goes, Merry Christmas to all. And he's just, like basically peace and joy and love to the world, you know? And that's the spirit of Christmas.
Right.
Peace, joy, and love to everybody.
Yeah, and
And it's communism's like, no, you don't get peace, joy, and love. Go back to your prison cell.
go find some roaches to eat.
You can have, well, now Robert Downey Jr. suggests crickets.
Oh,
Yes.
but in like North Korea, they eat roaches.
They have roaches there
Yeah,
probably. What
and
meanwhile,
they're excited when they find one,
but
or a rat.
Kim
And
Jong
rats like
Un,
Christmas dinner.
rats and some rat meat. But Kim Jong Un is fat and like has sex with whores, and like all of the dudes are like shrinking there.
Because
But
they're
so
malnourished.
so they probably don't have a big Christmas tradition in North Korea.
No, but we do, and I mean, I can definitely see. I mean, it's pretty obvious that it has turned into like this consumerism,
Feeding frenzy?
a feeding frenzy where people are out, frantically shopping and trying to buy all kinds of stuff and
Like, dude,
forgetting the meaning of Christmas.
I was just at the grocery store,
Oh, yeah.
and, it's near Christmas here,
Yeah,
and, it's a feeding frenzy,
it is.
and everybody's not, like, joyous and, like, filled with the whole with, like, the Christmas spirit. Everyone is like, "Get out of my way, I'm gonna kill you," and I'm stressed out because I gotta deal with a million people everywhere.
Yeah, and you know what I think that does is I think that it turns, people like some people like us, like you, Firefly,
Yes.
um, into you get this idea that Christmas is bad, and so you don't wanna celebrate it anymore, and you retreat and, like, basically
Withdrawal from it.
you withdraw from it and you shy away from the whole thing, the whole celebration. And I like to kind of take a different approach. I think that you should celebrate Christmas even if you feel grinchy because celebrating it, I don't know, it makes your heart warm, and I think if you can enjoy the beauty of even just like driving around. I like to drive around the neighborhoods and look at the lights on the houses because
Yeah.
some neighborhoods get really decked out,
Totally.
and it kind of turned that's probably
They
another.
might have hired that company that comes in and does it.
Yeah, some of them do, and that maybe that's a bit of a frenzy too because they gotta keep up with the Joneses, but I like it because, when somebody puts up an elaborate Christmas display, then, like, their neighbors kind of, like, are inspired to do something too, and then the other
Remember over
neighbors
by our
do.
high school, that one neighborhood used to have, like, the whole neighborhood would
Yeah,
become, like, everyone would drive through it.
Candy Cane Lane.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they have those in, I heard there's one in another city nearby too, but, they stopped doing it because I guess what happened was maybe some of the people on the street started getting old and they didn't want to do it anymore. So they started dropping out. And then slowly but surely, more people dropped out. And then new people moved in. And now, I've been on that street and it's really a great street for it because it's kind of a wide, like meandering, like the way
Yeah.
the street goes. Um, but it seems like a lot of new, like younger families have moved in now. And I wish they would like redo it because it was so fun. But you know what? There's other neighborhoods in our town, and I know there's neighborhoods in every town that seem to get really decked out. And I love to go drive around and look at the pretty lights and like
Yeah.
just put some Christmas music on the radio and drive around and look at all. It's festive and it's pretty, and I like to have a fire in the fireplace, and I feel like if you can just appreciate the beauty and, um, the simple things with Christmas, then it kind of ungrinches you.
It
You
does.
know what
It
I mean?
ungrinches you, and being a Grinch isn't cool. I mean, I kinda got burnt out on Christmas because it kinda became like this thing that people just did, and I didn't feel like there was the spirit of it was cool anymore.
Mm.
Plus, me personally, like, I can't stand my family anymore, so whenever he comes around, I'm like, "Oh god." So that kinda but I can totally see what you're talking about, like, even if you can't stand your family, everybody should get together and, kinda, like, put aside their differences for a little while just to kind of just say, "Hey, it's another year, let's be thankful."
Yeah,
That's always been the tradition, and it is healthy to do,
it
you
is.
know? I think maybe you're right about that. Plus, I kinda like the idea of going back and taking stock on what you did for the year and being thankful for it.
Yeah,
And
totally.
Christmas kind of is an opportunity to do that as a family.
Yeah. And if you really can't stand your family, you don't really have to be around them, but you can still go out and enjoy the beauty that surrounds the Christmas season. And,
Like,
there's,
you went over to the mall, that one mall with your mom, and it
yeah,
was cool.
it was all decorated. And, it was good to take my mom out and let her see that because she kind of doesn't get out that much. And, um, it's just like to see the decorations and the festivities, I think it can be uplifting. And, a lot of people like to go to church on Christmas. So, that's a good place to
Makes me think of, like,
meet
Bing
people.
Crosby. You ever listen to Bing Crosby's music during Christmas?
Yeah.
and he's just like, "Silver bells." And he's always just got this, like, real laid back, like, he's got an eggnog in his hand, he's chilling by the fire,
Oh, yeah.
and he's just real content to see all the kids playing, and his wife's in the kitchen, and, it's a contentment.
Yeah.
It's a looking at your family and just being like, "I'm really happy." You gotta be a loving person that loves your family, then you can have a stoked out Christmas, you know?
Yeah.
That's another thing it's kinda
Or
like
go
about
hang out with some other people.
well, yeah, that's true too, but also I think that's actually a kind of an interesting point I didn't think about was Christmas kind of, is like family, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
it's like man married to woman with children, it's kind of conducive to that,
Right.
and, maybe that's what's cool about it too, is it's kinda like, let's get back to being humans again rather than, like, we've kinda gotten all that, like that's under attack, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
and I'm sure that, like, this gross consumerism that's been, kind of pushed on people for Christmas time, um, that all goes against, like, family values, actually, but if you can just get back to the basics and, you know, just look at the positive and the beauty in the season. It's not all about, it reminds me of that line in the Grinch. It's not all wrapped up in paper boxes and bows. What does he say? It's Christmas is a little bit more,
That's
right?
right.
And his heart grows three sizes.
That's
I
right.
love the Grinch. I
That's
love
awesome.
it.
That's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
like, it kinda reminds me of, like, those kids that when they go out on Christmas morning, they start ripping open their presents, like, I think about, like, my cousin was kinda, like, spoiled rotten, so he would come down and be, like, opening the presents and just be like, "Oh, okay, cool, and then what's next? Oh,
Oh
and
God,
then just, like,
that's
rip
terrible.
through his stuff, not even care, and then be kinda, like, butthurt that you got something, you know?
Yeah.
That's kinda, like, the wrong attitude.
Yeah.
It's not about, like, spoiling your kids with a bunch of material gifts. It's kinda become that. It's
Yeah.
cool to give your kids something like a present, but you're right, it shouldn't be about the presents. It should be kind of about, like, love and joy and happiness, like Tiny Tim,
Yeah.
toast in a glass, everybody.
Tiny Tim. Well, I think this episode it is we're sort of it's almost like a Christmas Carol kind of episode because what
You're
do they
so
tell?
adorable. You love all of this stuff. You love you because I noticed you too, you also like to get dressed up nice and Christmassy.
Yeah, I do.
You do.
I do.
And that's important because, it's festive.
It is festive.
And this is the time that we as Americans have traditionally just, celebrated.
Yeah. So if it's an opportunity to, maybe get dressed up and have some nice music and maybe some eggnog, a Christmas cookie, look at some lights.
You know what I notice is like whenever I get together with big groups now, whether it's my family or anybody, you always have these like goalposts that you can't talk about around the table because it's gonna just like totally be an uncomfortable subject. So I always like to just probe with like little tiny political correct things,
Oh
and
boy.
just kind of see, like just like say the word lesbian one time and just see, or like one time, because everybody's so, like, politically correct these days.
Right.
Like, you can piss people off with the littlest thing,
With one word.
any word,
Yeah.
So, like, I remember we were hanging out, last Christmas with, my daughter's friend and her dad and my sister, and we're all there and we're hanging out. And so, I usually am the one that's kind of driving the conversation when it gets kind of quiet, no one's talking. So I just kind of talk to my daughter's friend's dad and I go, tell me about your job. You're a cop over in like the East Bay up there in the Bay Area. And he's like, well, yeah, we did some arrests the other day, and I go, was it a bunch of illegals? And I just by saying illegals, like turned into like now there's like people getting up and excusing themselves
Oh
from the
god, yeah,
table,
they
and just
couldn't
like
handle it.
it's like wool. And then he even goes, yeah, they were illegals, and he goes, that's where the system breaks down. And so, I didn't mean to. I just was kind of making an observation, but see, like me personally at Christmas meetings now, I have to be careful because you can step on a landmine real easily these days.
Well, so
Anyways, that's an
we
aside.
we can be we can be the friends that you can say anything to.
That would be
It
cool.
doesn't matter, you
Ooh,
know?
that would be cool, like a
Yeah.
Christmas party where you can be completely politically incorrect here.
You can be totally un-PC.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we're just gonna give you eggnog, and if there's mistletoe, you might even get kissed.
Oh, and then you can say whatever you wanna say, and nobody's gonna really care or get, like, offended. Everybody's so offended these days.
Have you ever seen a actual mistletoe tree? There's all these
Um,
weird
well,
trees.
mistletoe is something that grows on the trees. It's like a I think it's like a, parasite. It's like
Oh, that's lovely.
it's like a moss that attaches to the trees. I think and
So you
that's
kiss
what
under that? That's
I
weird.
don't know why that turned into a thing. I think maybe somebody was clearing off their trees and they had a bunch of it, and so they had to come up with some cute. We should look into the history of mistletoe. There's got to
Mistletoe?
be some kind of like urban legend or some kind of mythical, fairy tale surrounding that, right?
And there's all kinds of mythical things around Christmas trees too.
I know.
It's
Where did
really
the
interesting.
Christmas tree come
I
from?
dude, I swear it was like pagan. It was like
Probably.
total idol worshiping, like in the beginning. But so
Mhm.
people, yeah, when you look into the beginning, like of Christmas, you're like, whoa, Christmas kind of satanic. But that's cool. Let's have a party.
You know what? There's some people I've seen like on Instagram that have these accounts where like everything is pagan and satanic. And you know what? Maybe it is, but I like to find like the joy and happiness and good in
Dude, the
things.
Rolling Stones are pagan and satanic. I
They're
like them.
I know. I mean, we go down all the rabbit holes. So I'm sure everything is pagan and satanic, but like there's this one lady who's like complaining about Halloween and she's like, "I only give the children tangerines. I don't give out any candy and it's all pagan and satanic." And I'm like, "You know what? I'm sure you're right." And sugar's probably really bad for them, but on Halloween, I'm handing out
Well,
candy.
that's
You
right.
know what I
And that's your prerogative
mean?
to
Yeah.
do so. I mean, some people, like if you are strictly religious, you might say, no, Christmas is a pagan feast. But
It just seems like kind of fun hating. I'm not a fun hater.
well, that's what it is. You know what? I think
I don't
that's
like
the
to be a fun hater.
maybe that's the gist of this.
Don't be a fun hater.
Don't be a Grinch.
Yeah.
Don't be a Grinch, even if you don't celebrate Christmas. Be happy and be joyous because this is a time where, if you really look at like the true spirit of Christmas, it's Tiny Tim.
Yeah.
We're all supposed to have joy and goodwill to mankind. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's goodwill to
Yeah.
mankind, and like, okay, or are you gonna pick that apart? Let's just have goodwill to mankind.
And the Grinch is like the epitome of the opposite of that. He's the epitome of being a fun hater.
A fun
But
hater.
he gets turned around because his heart is touched by the joy and the meaning of Christmas when he sees all the Who's when they don't even have presents. They're still holding hands and they're singing,
See,
and it's so sweet and they're so happy and they sing their little da Vores da.
I've never seen that.
That little you've never seen the original Grinch?
No,
What?
I should watch
Oh
it.
my gosh.
Is that the one with
It's
Jim Carrey?
shocking. No, no, the original animated one. It's like from I think it was like maybe made I don't know,
Is that Dr.
maybe
Seuss?
before we were born. It's really old. Yeah, Dr. Seuss.
Now
It's
he's considered racist.
I know, but the original is so good and it's so deep actually and so touching because it just really shows how, here's the Grinch. He hates Christmas. He hates everything it stands for. He hates like what a lot of people hate, like how they've got all these presents and they're all running around happy and all this stuff. But then he goes and he steals all the presents in Whoville. He goes the night before Christmas and he takes everything and he's decided that he's just going to completely remove their Christmas. So he takes all their presents and he has his poor little dog haul the sleigh back up to the mountaintop where he lives, and then he looks down, he hears them singing, and they're all singing in the morning, and they're joyful, and they're so happy that it's Christmas. They don't even care that they don't have any presents. And then his heart grows three sizes because he realizes that the meaning of Christmas isn't about presents and packages and wrapped up in bows. The real meaning is about being together and love and, you know,
Joy.
joy.
You know what I
So,
noticed too is a lot of times it entails like what I'll notice is especially after people have had a few drinks in my family, everyone starts to get in a good mood and then they start talking about the fun things they did for the year.
mhm,
And the mood becomes kind of happy.
right,
And you kind of even if you had kind of a crappy year this year, something funny happened to you.
right.
Talk about that, you
Totally.
know? Well, so I think that's the gist of this episode. What we wish is for everyone to have a Merry Christmas. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, you don't have to be a Grinch. Be happy and just, you know, be happy for other people
You know what?
and be happy for yourself.
You know what I think, like, could turn even the most grinchiest person into an ungrinch
What?
is to look at the face of a little child who is so excited and enamored by Christmas. And if you don't have a little child in your life, you can like
Go kidnap
go
them.
go kidnap one. You know, you could go to a mall and you can see the little kids when they get to go sit on this mall Santa Claus's lap to get their picture taken. And these little kids, well, some of those Santa Clauses are kind of scary, but when you look at the little kids' faces and they see the Christmas trees and they see all of the magic and they believe in Santa Claus and they know Santa Claus is coming, it's so magical and sweet. And I just like see their little
They're
faces
so
light up.
excited.
They're so excited because Santa Claus is coming. And I just think that that is the sweetest, most innocent thing, and that I think can turn even the most grinchy person not into a Grinch.
I think that's a
Don't
great,
you think?
totally. It makes me think of the Mall of America. I wonder if they have a Santa in there anymore.
They probably have a Muslim Santa.
And like Santa's elf, like the lady's like wearing a hijab and she's
Yeah.
like this way. And you're just like, no. Santa's like, convert to Islam or I kill you. Now get off my lap. Okay. Well, so anyways,
I think we got our
we
message
got that.
across.
Oh
And
man, that was such a good message.
no, and I'm so glad that you all 107 of you are listening in the world, all across 45 countries.
Yes. There's more of you than that.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to everybody, and thank you so much for listening to us this year. And we're looking forward to a new year coming up with lots of new stuff.
And we
And we're fighting a revolution.
I know, and we have a fun New Year's Eve episode.
Oh yeah, stay
So
tuned for that.
stay tuned.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.